Kaboom!
A pathless wilderness, wild, rugged, that was a hardy frontier, far from the paths of civilization.
If you close your eyes, you can pretend it's North Dakota.
Where fortune beckoned with a glittering smile.
Well, have you seen South Dakota, Sean? They're insanely hot!
And life hung on the quickness of a trigger finger.
I will do my best to listen more intently.
The Sioux Empire Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a great episode of the Sioux Empire Podcast. This is the Sioux Empire Podcast, the quirky but harmless podcast that's all about Sioux Empire news, comedy, music, and culture. I am your host, Robert Mailing, and joining me as always is Seth Glover.
Kaboom organizer.
Woo! Woo! And also joining us is photographer extraordinaire, Natasha Estes.
I don't know what this organized thing is all about.
Very good. And we had our guest do a last-minute rain check here, so it is just the core podcast crew today.
Working the core.
Hope you can deal with that.
Are you ready for a core day?
Are you ready?
Well, it's better than, like, leg day.
This is true. I hate leg day. No, I don't. I love egg day. I hate egg.
Egg day? Oh!
What a fat guy joke. It's just like, I don't like leg day.
Oh, man.
But I do like egg day. Oh, God. Okay.
Instead of back day, you do Beck day. It's just bacon, egg, and cheese day.
While listening to Beck, yeah. I got a devil's haircut in my omelet.
That sounds really gross.
It sounds terrible.
I tried.
And also the food would be terrible. I just mocked Beck. Awesome. Keeping timely with the 20-year-old Beck music references.
Well, I mean, there's a huge subculture of hipsters that I'm sure are just finding Beck.
Yeah.
So it's relevant to them.
This is true. Absolutely. What the...
It
Natasha?
didn't say it.
Guys, we're
music with
going
that
into
one.
a dream sequence.
Yeah, we're in
Didn't
some kind of
say-
dream sequence.
Whoa.
Pan to 3 weeks earlier. Hey, you want to be on the podcast? Ding.
Yeah,
Bing.
sure.
Sure. Yay. No, I don't have a good flashback to go to. What was your flashback going to be, Seth?
I don't know, man. I was gonna kind of go with whatever you were going with, and I played it well. I knew the next line.
Damn.
Yeah, you should have just let me.
Damn. Okay.
I have some yarn that's actually the color title flashback.
Title flashback.
No, like you have to name the color,
I get it.
and it's flashback.
But what color is a flashback?
It's like orange and red, yellow.
I guess that kind of makes
One
sense.
thing
I would have guessed a little more blue in there, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of makes sense. Okay.
It, like,
Okay.
switches between the colors. It's like,
I guess I was thinking more of an aqua type, sort of bluish.
well, those
Then a
things are
red.
more like ocean spray or like
Right.
Blue Lagoon.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, those kind of things.
Very good. So let's see. Let's go ahead and jump into our first story here. Our first story was the one that was hard to miss because it was the giant fucking mushroom cloud on the horizon if you live here in Sioux Falls. Kaboom! Parts of western Sioux Falls were shaken Thursday night when a fire broke out at the AOX. And is that how you say it? AOX? Or AOX? I think everyone in the media has been saying AOX.
Yeah.
So AOX Welding Supply Company. In all, 5 semi-trailers filled with liquid tanks were caught on fire. Heavy black smoke that was seen across Sioux Falls was caused by the burning diesel fuel from the tanks on the trucks. Let's see. I know they evacuated like several blocks. We were like right on the... I was traveling at the time. I was actually sitting in a Quiznos in Mitchell when it happened, but I like because everyone was streaming it live, I was watching it on my phone while I was eating my sandwich. I'm like, well, sure hope I get to come back to an apartment. And Yeah, I should have been here, because, I mean, from here I could have seen everything. Because we're, like, if you look at the map, it's like, where my apartment is right on the edge of the evacuation zone.
I marked myself as safe, on the Facebook, and Dustin's like, why? It doesn't have anything to do with you. You're not in the zone. I said, it was fun.
I had friends in Wessington as a gag that all registered themselves as safe from the AOX explosion.
Well, what does this mean? There was a Facebook notification?
When there's a disaster or a school shooting or something like that, because this is becoming way too common, and they've done this for about 1.5 years now, if you're in that geographical general area, as far as Facebook is concerned, everyone in eastern South Dakota was in the area, but this thing will pop up underneath news coverage of the event that's like shooting at so-and-so or explosion at AOX. And underneath that, it'll go to Facebook's Crisis Response Center and register as safe. And the idea is that if there's a shooting at a school, everyone's calling around frantically trying to figure out where everyone is. If you've got your phone, you could just hit a button and be like, safe, and then people know, oh, they work there, but they're saying they're safe. So
I want to know what happens when you say you're not safe.
This is a good question.
What does Facebook do to ensure your safety?
I think it's a more of a dead man switch, so it's like if you're alive and can hit safe, then you're safe, and then I don't even know, I've never used it. Is there another option to say not safe?
I actually don't remember, but I think you can, I think it's just safe or it doesn't affect me.
Oh, okay. So it's like, you open it up and just like, as you're burning, you're like, there's no option for me on here. Registering a complaint with Facebook.
Exactly.
What about the people who are in danger? Wow! Wow, that's really fucking terrible.
I don't know, you could have gone way worse with it, and for a burning death to die like that would be a good death. It looked more like you were
death by fire ever.
Looked more like you were standing on the second level on the railing gateway and you just fell and died like that. And it wasn't actually burning death because anyway. But
so yeah, I'm glad that as far as I know, no one was killed, maybe had some injuries, but no one was killed in the AOX explosion, to my knowledge.
To the Sioux Empire podcast knowledge, no injury or no deaths were nobody died because of this.
But I thought it would be a good, interesting time to bring up the previous time that Sioux Falls made national headlines by exploding. And no, I'm not talking about the time we made national headlines by failing to explode. Thank you very much, Boom Grain Elevator. Seth is looking at me like he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, most of the crowd is, but it's okay.
No, you don't remember just 10, 15 years ago or whatever, where they had that giant grain elevator they were destroying and they put a big boom banner on the side of it and it was a controlled demolition and it didn't actually explode? They even sell figurines of it downtown at Zardaw's Variety or whatever. Zambros or whatever.
No, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, it was a thing that happened in Sioux Falls. Anyway.
Oh.
That was nationally hilarious because all the national news was playing. It's like a controlled demolition that didn't go as planned, and it just kavunk, and it just looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I think it was 6 months later before they could safely go in and make sure it actually fell down. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Boom Grain Tower. But the time that Sioux Falls is famous for actually exploding actually takes place in 1936. Ah. This is if you guys are familiar with it's the Powder Road, or Powder, there's a road named for it here in Sioux Falls.
Cake Road? I don't know.
But this is the Powder House blast in Sioux Falls, and it's Powder House Road. There's a road that goes by it, and there was a big controversy 2 years ago because they were going to do some construction in the area, and they was talking about basically bulldozing over the historical marker or whatever that said where this had happened. But it was a big deal back in the 30s when it did. So, let's see, a gang of people from Sioux City shot 2 of their members and blew up Larson's Hardware Powder House storage to cover up a crime. They were doing a heist, and they got the idea, it's we'll distract everyone with this explosion, but it was ridiculously more explosive than they thought it would be. It blew up the whole hardware facility, and it did 20. This is, keep in mind, this is in the 1930s. It did $20,000 worth of damage to the city. Basically, it sounds like there wasn't a window left in Sioux Falls that wasn't shattered by it. Windows were broken as far away as Del Rapids.
Jeez.
They said that it was actually, it was like, basically like a small nuke going off. Like you would have been able to see it with like, not Geiger counter, but whatever the seismograph.
Yes.
You'd see it on the seismograph, and that it actually like would have been felt through the ground for hundreds of miles. And yeah, it was quite the explosion. Like, if you ever get a chance to see it, like Sioux Falls Historical Society and some of the other history websites, they have pictures of the crater from it, and it's just ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I just thought everyone should know that South Dakota has a long, proud history of blowing up. Sleep well. Next, moving on to another bit of South Dakota history brought back to life. Mr. Bendo is making his big move. Why are you laughing, Natasha?
Because at the end of the article it says this won't get, like, run into. And it's funny because
You're going to go run into it?
No, not on purpose.
You're like, not again.
No, but the cheese man helped, repaint it, he says.
Oh, he helped repaint it. Cool.
Yeah, and
Was it 'cause he had hit it?
But no, they just, like, I can't remember all the story, even though it's one of those I heard a bunch, but he's like, yeah, I helped paint that. That's where you turn to go to the wall fart and avoid the road I don't like so much. And I'm like, what road? The one by the big statue. Oh, yeah.
What is it like to navigate in your head? Because I'm just like, your landmark names are so much better than mine. I'm always just like, the place that has curly fries, the place that has that dip for fries. And your internal map is like, the road I don't like, next to the giant Scary Man and the wall fart. And just like, do all the shops and stores like along the street have different secret Natasha names?
Well, the street to this one is, it's between those two stores that have C on their name.
Follow the bending palm tree to where the sun dies, and the two stores have C in their name. There ye shall find the treasure. Sorry.
Kind of. No, but... but when I was going home a couple years ago or so, I was trying to go on these off-roading places. Or maybe it was more than a few years ago, but... I hadn't been to this one neat spot that's got a great overview of like a little river below it, but I hadn't been there for several years, and I was trying to remember how to get there, but I was like, well, I remember that tree, and there's the red dirt. Yeah, there's no street signs except for one.
That really got you there, though? The
Yes!
red dirt in the tree?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Are you not entertained?
So
Yeah.
glad I have my soundboard back.
I just watched that movie in full this morning. It was great.
Gladiator?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's a great movie.
It's been a long time, but I did see that one. I did.
An amazing movie.
And you
Changed
saw that
my
one
life.
tree next to the McFarty place. Next to the...
South of that place where the one time the bird looked at me funny.
Yes.
Well, that's like the art department where the bird pooped on me. It really did. Go Yotes.
Go Yotes. The really sad thing is the second she said the art department where the bird pooped on me, I was around for that, so I knew exactly where she was talking about. The system works, people.
I saw that one clicked, and I was the only one left here, not in that moment. So,
Yep.
yeah. That
If you're in Vermilion, just look for the historical marker on the east side of the art center that reads, "This is where Natasha got shit on by a bird." Can't miss it. Oh man! So here's my big here's my beef with, as our who I hope was going to be our guest today would have said. Here's my beef: the Mr. Bendo statue. It's cool. I like the whole... It's got a very, like, Route 69 folksy art vibe.
66? Right.
You've been watching different videos than me. No. Wait, that was the porn parody. Anyway.
I could bring in, but I won't.
Hello.
It could be an obscure reference, but I didn't.
What the hell was that? Anyway, the Route 66 Americana roadside attraction style of Mr. Bendo. I think it's a historical landmark and a piece of art. So, them moving Mr. Bendo, their condition for moving him is... Seth, stop laughing.
I'm not even the arm thing, dick.
Sorry, it's just too much fun. So, I think it's like a historical landmark. I'm getting serious now. Getting serious. I think it's a historical landmark and a piece of like the history of the city. But the city council made them pull the muffler pipe out of his hand, and then they were allowed to move it as a piece of sculpture. Because if the muffler's in his hand, then it's a sign. And businesses in Sioux Falls are only allowed one sign.
Can you say it's a sign of the end times, like everyone is saying? Because it's coming up on June 23rd again. But it's true, I guess.
I love the idea that the end times are coming up again. Oh,
No.
gotta hurry up, or we'll miss the end times, and we'll have to wait for the 4:45 end times.
No, but you could spin it and say it's a I don't want to say a religious promotion thing, but they put those tacky signs all over the street posts. They were like, "Repent, it's the end times." It doesn't count as vandalism, so you could say this is a sign that's going nowhere. It was just something that was on my mind all of a sudden.
Do you know what bust my chops on Route 969? I fucked it up. Do you know what bust my chops on Route 69?
What?
Cut it in. I don't remember. Religious stuff. It was just the first part.
There was
that I got
another
to.
article on the thing that for some reason wouldn't open up when I clicked on it.
Science and just one little piece of sign sculpture. No, I don't know. It's not my fucking thing, and it's not that cool. I honestly saw it yesterday for the first time. Like, I've driven on that road many a time.
Yep.
Never seen the thing.
How do you know where to turn?
It's fucking dude. I don't know. Just be in the passenger seat for a change. That was how I saw it.
That
I was
doesn't
driving.
really
For
help.
me, the voice of Morgan Freeman tells me when to turn.
I want to get that, and I don't have it.
I wonder if they'll still have it now with the allegations.
I know.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. All I'm saying is bring back Louis C.K. I'm not saying bring him back, but Louis C.K. come back. Louis C.K. don't take those words literally. Just, put out a, hour-long special.
Did you see the Click Oil article that was, it looks like the Harvey Weinstein produced true life story of Kevin Spacey as played by Louis C.K. is in trouble.
Co-starring Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh. Me too. Yeah. Anyway. So, is this bullshit? I mean, am I like making up a controversy here?
The differential, or fuck it, I'm not going to use that word. Actually, I am going to have to. The difference between it being a sign and a statue is a little comical.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you see what the bar is, it's just... Like, he's still got his fucking fist, punching. But because that's, like, an add-on, even though it's not. Like, you can add different parts of a sculpture together.
And that's part of my thing, is that it's part of the original sculpture. So, if you're then why isn't the whole thing a sign if taking away the muffler out of his hand? I mean, it's just like... It's like saying there's, like, a historic mural... And being like, well, it was technically an ad for a business that no longer exists. So if we paint over one part of the mural that mentions the historical business, and then move it. It's okay. You know, it's dumb. I think this is dumb. I think the city council could have handled this better.
Yeah, Teresa.
Rabble.
Sorry.
It's
Rabble.
a conspiracy.
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, that's
Just
the
like
only
the
two
mural
I know.
at the Denver airport.
I only know the good ones.
Yes, the Denver... Everybody knows the Denver airport is the portal to hell. We got it. It's well established.
It goes everywhere.
It does.
They fly everywhere.
And then there's Warhorse. Folks don't come around out night because of Warhorse. If you look Warhorse in the eye, Warhorse will tell you the time and date of your death.
Is
Warhorse.
that a city in Poland or what?
No, I believe you're thinking of Warsaw, son.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And by the way, this is totally the accent of someone that lives in Colorado.
Yeah. That's pretty close.
That's legit.
Just you'd have to be wearing some sort of like fitness clothes or maybe riding a bike. You have some biker clothes.
They're fitness nuts in Colorado?
Yeah.
Ugh, gross. Okay.
Boulder.
Well, fuck anywhere.
I lived there for a while. It was interesting.
I like it. It's not the same as South Dakota, but it's nice.
They make fun of a South Dakota accent.
Yeah,
often.
they do. I know. I've been there, and I've spent plenty of enough time to be made fun of it.
They think our South Dakota accent is
I
ridiculous.
think we sound like those guys in Fargo or something. It's a bunch of hooky.
Oh, I don't know about that, eh?
Yeah,
That's-
that's a lot of moose chips, if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't get that. South Dakota.
All I gotta say is they don't want to be up creek when the beavers aren't on the creek. Aren't on the dam.
When
Yeah.
what do they do when the time to come to get the cattle? You know?
Dutch, Welsh, what?
I have no idea where the hell I'm going with that. But I'll take it.
Hey! Oh, okay.
Ah, it was the other one. Well, that
Nice
was kinda
try,
blurry.
Seth.
Let's try again.
Nice try.
Tried to photobomb it. Can't even photobomb a photo.
Oh wait, I have that now.
Whoa, dude.
Powers restored.
Somebody is getting precise with their soundboard.
Don't I know it?
Look at that. No more flailing around for 3 minutes and then giving up.
Oh, awesome. So, moving on. Okay, we agree it's bullshit with the Mr. Bendo thing.
Yeah, it's dumb. I don't get it. What? What?
Yeah.
Covers it.
Totally, dude. Totes my goats. Let's see. Next up is the... Oh, this is a good one. So, there's this... what do they call it? They call it, Blast FM? Yeah. It's Blast FM, is this Christian heavy metal station. I don't know if you listened to it. I actually did in preparation for this story, and it's actually not bad. I was really enjoying the actual metal part of it is pretty intense. But these guys are an internet radio station, and therefore I identify them as a competitor, and therefore I wanted everyone in Sioux Falls to know that I'm not going to stand for this. This aggression will not stand. Blast FM must remove its troops from Kuwait, and also, in response, the Sioux Empire podcast is introducing its own Christian heavy metal acts to compete with them. That's right. We're taking them on head on. Seizing the future. This is a big, apparently, growth market, so we are all up in this.
Natasha's been writing hymns in preparation.
Yes, and praying daily. Anyway, so in response, to kick this off, I have launched my own Christian heavy metal band. Today in studio, we're going to play.
Rob and his
This is the
Christian
This is
band.
the first single off of my debut album, The Book of Rob. This is from my heavy metal group called The Galilee Day Laborers, and this is the classic hymn On Eagle's Wings. So let's give that a listen.
You dwell in the shelter of the Lord, who abide in the shadow of life. Say to the Lord, my refuge,
I walk in my trust, and embrace you upon eagle's wings. Bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hands. The stare of the fowler will never capture you, and famine will bring you no fear. For under his wing of refuge, his faithfulness is your shield. He will raise you up on eagle's wings, and for the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hands. And hold you in the palm of his hands. Hail the dog Lord Jesus.
This is way more physical activity than I'm used to.
My neck hurts, man. That headbanging.
That was intense. Okay,
Yeah.
I see the appeal of that. So
Yeah.
once again, that was the Galilee Day Laborers
Yeah, that's a good one.
off their debut album, The Book of Rob.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be into it, but you know what? That classic, Christian heavy metal,
Yeah.
it's got appeal.
It's definitely a version that growing up at St. Joseph's, I never heard that version of On Eagle's Wings.
Yeah, well, you know, we were all missing out and missing a little something inside.
Yup.
Even with the Holy Spirit, we were missing that version of On
I
Eagle's
think
Wings.
we've converted Natasha. Yay!
Yeah, man, music,
Okay.
man, did it.
Look of death. Moving on. Okay. So, Blast FM, you're on notice.
Blast, you're a blast.
Yeah. Blast, you're on blast.
Basta. Basta.
So, Craigslist.
Is that the...
It's one of those things that like the Jim Baker show
Right.
had. They're all like, basta, go away, imaginary enemy, basta.
Actually, I thought you were going just with a Jamaican sort of radio. Blasta with it, but that's...
No, it isn't.
Master Blaster.
This is a master on the blaster.
I'll tag you in a comment when I refind it, and I'll go.
Major Laser. Coming at ya.
Something like that.
I thought we learned in the last segment Rob should not try to do accents.
I don't know.
You're moving your microphone? That's not allowed.
Yes, it is. Don't you want me to spill the tea?
Ooh.
I mean, when we've got 3 people in here, there's only 7 personalities, so if you try and bring a little extra flavor into it, Rob,
Yeah.
you know, Mr. 1.
Fair enough. Okay. So, Craigslist. So we had some people try to rob some people buying stuff off Craigslist. This story was of interest to me because I sell shit once in a while on Craigslist.
Do you rob people, Rob? Hey, Rob, fucking coincidence? I don't think so.
Let's just say it's not just a clever name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your parents branded you.
They
with
did.
With the right brand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to pretend to act thoughtful while I was trying to come up with a joke to respond to that with, and then just blanked, so...
So what would you sell on Craigslist and then rob someone when they came to pick it up?
Ooh, it'd have to be something good then, wouldn't it? I'm thinking a laptop.
Natasha?
I don't like selling my stuff, and that's why it's hoarding up all my stuff.
I would sell 1 million gold bars. I wouldn't actually have them, but they would come with $1 million.
And that Craigslist ad would seem very legit.
Somebody would come with $1 million, Rob. You don't just put ads out there and nobody answers them. It's advertising, man. It's 101. You gotta put it out there and they shall come.
So we should take a vote. Should the Sioux Empire put out an ad on Sioux Falls Craigslist for 1 million gold bars and see if anyone responds? Eh?
We
Yeah.
could. We
Not if
could.
you don't specify what gold and bars mean.
Okay, Bill Clinton. Jesus.
Well, Well,
So we don't specify what is, or gold bars, or gold, or is. Just, Jesus, you should have been an attorney.
I thought about it.
Oh, man. Oh. Sorry, I'm still like super pumped about that rock.
It was really good. It was really good.
That was awesome. So, last on the headlines here, the think piece. This is a new segment. I should have made some intro music, but I was too busy at 4 in the morning recording a heavy metal cover. So, yeah. But this is a segment I want to introduce called the think piece, where we're going to take like a bigger, broader topic and look at it more closely. And this is an essay that was put out on by Time Magazine. That's all about did the baby boomers. Last time we talked about did Friends destroy Western civilization. Today we're talking about did the baby boomers destroy Western civilization.
Well, Rob, I think you have to just look at inflation and just look at how much inflation has increased and how much inflation we've taken on since the baby boomers have had kids.
Well,
Since the 80s.
I don't know. I mean, like my dad or mom went to college in the 70s and worked for like $3 an hour at a grocery store in the summer, and that paid for college. So I don't know why these kids these days can't pull themselves up by their $80,000 semester bootstraps.
And then I think you also have to look at the whole the whole life expectancy. Yes, that's trailed off because they're shitty. No, I don't know. Maybe we're just I don't know. That was bullshit. I shouldn't have brought that point up because maybe that's not a point. But
well,
the inflation one is
the people that money has to be spent on as assisted living instead of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps kind of bullshit.
And then, yeah, there's also the whole how society, what societal norms are, and it's hard to identify norms in America, I think, probably.
They change.
Because, well,
They
yeah,
do.
they
Norms
definitely change often. But, you know, is it... I don't know when we first... are we where we want to be with drugs in America? Then, yeah, are we where, you know... I mean, should we be having a opioid crisis? Would it be happening if it wasn't... If the baby boomer generation didn't do a little more in this...
Well, like this article would argue that you've got, you know, the baby boomers who are the ones that really made like pot mainstream and consumed a lot of it, and then when they turned around and were adults, they immediately declared the war on drugs and proceeded to build a for-profit industrial complex out of persecuting the people that imbibe pot. And that's just one of the many examples where it was just like they were hippies with all these ideals and stuff like that, and then in the end they ended up being worse than their parents, because at least their parents invested in the next generation. Because I mean, that's why the baby boomers had it so nice, is because the greatest generation worked so hard to provide for these guys and to give them everything, and they turned around.
I fought in World War II, so you could do drugs in Vietnam.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay, you totally throw my train of
Baby
thought.
boomers, they fought in Nam.
That's true. They fought in Nam. Was that a war we wanted to fight? Not really.
What war is a war that you want to fight?
This is true. So I don't know. I don't like the whole...
Oh yeah, except when they take our towers down. When they fly planes into our buildings, that's a justification for war.
That's true. That's true. You know, when they bomb the harbor or blow up the World Trade Center, that kind of you gotta act on those.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
But baby boomers, you didn't have to act on. Excuse me, I'm just gonna burp there, and we'll just leave it there. No, yeah, the whole the stuff. Rob's the historian.
Are you going with the whole why the bleep? You know, you have to go to war with like Afghanistan and maybe Saudi Arabia over 9/11, but instead you invade Iraq, which had nothing to do with it.
Let's get back to the baby boomers.
Okay. But the baby boomers are the ones who were in charge through all that. They're the ones that passed the Patriot Act and like passed it like universally across the board.
Yeah, now the Freedom Act.
The Freedom Act.
I know, it's very ironic.
Yeah, I think their interns have gotten a little too clever with the like. I mean, seriously, if you see an act called the Freedom Act or the, Putting America Back to Work Act, it's like whatever it's saying it's doing, it is literally designed to do the exact opposite. Yeah. So it's a symptom of the broken government. But okay. I don't know, this article really goes after the baby boomers, and it makes a very cogent argument for it. And I mean, obviously, it's kind of like the people that were alive during this period are the ones that define what happened during that period and that still hold influence, or what define what happens now. But I don't buy into the whole generational conflict thing either, because I feel like you'll notice on the Sioux Empire podcast a lot I make fun of the whole bashing millennials. Like just the other day I was sharing a thing where it was an article that was like, well, it turns out that millennials don't spend money on eating out, but they're also not buying groceries. When do millennials eat? And then it's just like, somebody underneath that is just like, why don't you try fucking paying us something? Yeah. And they're just like, why don't millennials buy houses? Why don't they do this? Just because they're so lazy and blah, blah, blah. Just everyone just piles on the millennials. And then there's another video I shared that was, I'm always saying this, talking about like Roman historians, like literally when they're 200 years away from the golden age, when Rome is at its peak, sitting there going, the young generation we have now is total garbage, and they're lazy, and they don't work hard, and blah, blah, blah. And, so some of that is just ingrained. But I liked this article for the fact that it pushes back on that idea a little bit, that it's all the young people's fault, since that seems to be the media's like favorite narrative in the world. But yeah. I don't necessarily agree with the idea that it's this generation's fault or this generation's fault. That seems like another like divide and conquer like theme, Well,
they all interplay on like each other, and because it's always the present, but you all think about the future to figure out how to get to the future you want, which also, depends on what has already happened and how you're going to interpret it. So it's, well, this person may have done this, blah, 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 but you can't just say, well, that's why I did this. You can, because in a way, this person, let's just say, cutting in front of you in line, let's just say that. You can say, well, that's why I started a big old fight with them at the wall fart and people filmed it. Yay, wall fart reference again. Or you can be like, okay, well, yeah, so what, they did that, but you don't have to respond a certain way, and then that way that you respond to whatever the impetus was then changes, the norms and ideas of this generation, which then influences the next generation in some way or another. So in other words, just don't be a dick, and hopefully there won't be so many problems, and a broad sense of wishful thinking.
So am I better now as a 28-year-old than my parents were? Well, wait, one of my parents was when they were 28. No. Like, I don't understand the economy, and I don't understand inflation, but I hate it, and you don't have to pay me more if everything's not so goddamn expensive, and you don't, and there's not some bullshit with where oil is running out. It's not, you cunts. It's fucking not. And you don't need to charge me extra for it. You can charge me a goddamn $1, and that's too fucking expensive, because it's there's way more of that shit than you fucking are. Yeah, then there's ever needs to be price increases because of the quantity of reserves. So, yeah.
Don't you remember the National Geographic headlines in like 2006 and 2007 that were all like, we've hit peak oil now. This is peak oil. Gas prices will never come down. And in the late 90s, we had that.
I believed it until now, and I have the internet, and I listen to fucking oil tycoons who have billions of dollars who are like, oh, no, that's forever. That's literally, like, there is no shortage. and there is a huge reserve underneath Saudi Arabia that they hadn't disclosed for a long time, and it's really, you're just being...
Yeah, we could do a whole episode just on the bullshit from, like, oil pricing and oil markets and stuff like that. So you think... So getting back
Here's
to
how much I know about the economy. I bought a book called 50 Things You Need to Know About the Economics.
Nice.
So not much. It's just like it's like the key terms, the 50 most keyest terms from an actual economics book.
Ollie the octopus says, "Gross domestic product is." was it like a Dick and Jane book with like the big text and stuff like that, and then the little octopus is like showing you like goods coming in and goods going out.
I'll do a book club on it, Dick.
Okay. I'm just teasing you. Okay.
It's got a bowl on the front of it.
Does it also have like a bear?
There's no bear, just a bowl with a very prominent fifth leg.
Oh.
Yep. I don't know if that's there on the New York Stock Exchange. If it's not, then that's funny. If there's not a dick on that one in New York, this book is hilarious.
Well, there would be. I just don't know that it would be like super prominent.
It's prominent enough.
Okay.
I mean,
how did we get here? And I don't mean the baby boomers anymore. How did we get from talking about baby boomers to discussing the dick on the bull statue at the stop?
I felt offended.
It all comes together, people.
Yep, I felt
the Illuminati, the New World Order, bull penis. Think about it. Think about it. Oh, that's awesome. Does anyone else have anything to say on this? I got nothing.
No.
Yeah. Here's my closing thoughts. It's just like, I don't... So I get pissed at the baby boomers, but I don't blame them for everything wrong. It's not like they did everything. I mean, there's lots of shit that was set up way before their time, and there's stupid shit that happens after when they're not involved in something. I just don't get the generational blame that they seem to like latch onto and just love. They blamed their they blamed their parents all through the 60s, and now they blame their own children now and their grandchildren, and I don't get that. I don't see how that's productive. I think it's stupid in general. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Is that I just think the whole idea of the conflict between generations about this and that, it's like we're all one people. Come together.
I'll try and close with this, although it's kind of an opening idea, but it's
okay.
Things relatively now are so much better than what we make them out to be.
That's
just
true.
In the world and in just humanity. So, things are definitely fucked up, and we could definitely blame, the generation before us, but like you said, they had things that were left to them too. So, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, ultimately, like, I have a car, I have the internet. Fuck it, I just have the internet there. I have my electronic gadgets, so my life is completely different. It's, definitely Big Brother shit right now, but you get so many conveniences for it.
And do you think some of our anxiety about this is going to hell or that's going to hell is not so much that things are going to hell? Because obviously the standard of living is dramatically better. Do you think it's more of a force of just things change and we don't like change?
But change can be good.
For sure, like with the baby boomers, probably.
As they get older,
I think a majority of them just...
They have this idealized how things should be, and then when anything deviates from that scares them.
I think all of this technology scares like people that don't understand it, and so I think that's a reason for anybody to get cranky nowadays. Is AI is gonna take over, and there's gonna be no jobs, and
Well, then they can do all the toilet cleaning jobs.
Nah, robots will definitely be able to clean toilets. Why the fuck would we need somebody cleaning toilets?
Because it will
We need somebody to clean the robots' asses. That's what we fucking need.
You can do that, son.
We just all need the fancy Japanese toilets.
Yes.
The Japanese already have the technology. We just need to adopt it widespread. But yeah, anyway, I have interesting thoughts. So, yeah.
The Sioux Empire Podcast proudly presents this week's Shameless Plugs.
So what does our guest have to plug this week?
Get up on your soapbox.
No. Okay. Damn. Okay, so we're running a little ahead of schedule, and I'm trying to think of a shameless plug. I didn't have one prepared for this.
Well, mine is going to be Rick and Morty's 70 more episodes.
Oh, hell yes. High five up here.
High
yeah.
five.
Hell yes, more Rick and Morty.
Waiting for them to get online.
Yeah, there's only been 30 episodes so far, but it is syndicated in my mind.
Yep. Yeah, fantastic show. Natasha, do you have anything to shamelessly plug?
How about this? This will go out still.
This will go out today.
Okay, yeah. The Royal Table Massage has got a construction special.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can get an hour for the price of a 45-minute. Yay, pick me.
Truly a shameless plug.
Yeah, well, the reason why is not only because I have great jokes, but I'm not going to, you can't use the word, prescribe, but, whatever, not going to do a technique, I guess, that would cause harm, even though that's something that maybe you think that you need, because that's just a dick move. I would actually try to help instead of, just spinning some bullshit to make you feel better and then be like, nah, you may hurt for a while, but then you'll feel better. It's like you can feel better on your own without getting extra hurt in the meantime. That's what the studies show. Just saying.
Very good.
I'm not a rip-off person.
Nice. You're not a phony.
No. Well, on something.
Hey,
but
that masseuse is a phony.
You're
Did I say it wrong?
Yeah, no.
No, it's just funny. You're phony.
No, you saying that is making me think about the Family Guy going that bit where he's like, "You're
That's
a phony."
what I was thinking of. What were you thinking of?
This segues perfectly into my shameless plug, which is the last podcast on the left. I've been listening to it for a long time, but my wife was out of town for a week, so I binge listened to all the back catalog of episodes, like hardcore. Super, super dark podcast, but super fucking hilarious. Just absolutely love it. But that was making me think there was a certain serial killer. That's their specialty. They're basically like macabre grimoire. They're one of the inspirations for it. But they emphasize more like although they do a lot of like UFOs and paranormal stuff like that. Their specialty, their main ticket item, is serial killers. And they'll do 3-part episodes that are just totally of the life of a different serial killer and what their thought process and stuff like that. Did you know the guy that shot John Lennon? His entire life thought he had a kingdom of little people that he ruled over, and they even would vote on things he did, and so they voted against killing John Lennon, and so he had to go behind the back of his secret council of little people that he ruled in order to kill John Lennon. I'm not making this shit up.
This motherfucker makes things complicated, way too complicated, man.
Yeah, and that's just one of the a billion ridiculously insane anecdotes. That's all that podcast is. And then the Henry Zabrowski or whatever, the comedian guy that's on there that does all the voices. Because he'll basically assign a character and a voice to the serial killer, and so all their quotes from the serial killer, Henry Zabrowski will read them all in his impression of the serial killer, and it's always fucking hilarious.
I have to unplug one from Rob that he tried to give me a few weeks ago. And that was Evil Genius on Netflix. That will fuck your life up. Actually, you know what? Most of the things that are in that sort of genre on Netflix will fuck your life up nowadays. Okay, they got a lot of it on there that's just a lot of really violent, dark, sadistic, fucking heinous shit. But anyway, Evil Genius, it's fucked up. Sorry to...
No, but I think it's funny. I didn't even realize, but I have a theme with my shameless plugs lately where they're all super You're looking at me like I'm a serial killer now, but I'm just like all my shameless plugs lately have been like extremely dark things like that. But anyway, last podcast on the left, be sure to check it out. Just really awesome podcast, really like it. Henry Zabrowski is kind of like a real life version of Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you ever watched that,
Wild card.
yeah, he's the wild card, like hardcore. It's fucking hilarious. So anyway, I love that show, and that's my shameless plug. Anybody else have anything before we wrap it up for this week? Short episode for you guys. We will, and then I burped. We'll try to, we'll definitely have guests next week because that will be recorded here shortly. And we'll see you all next time. And also, a big thank you to all of our listeners, and just a reminder to be sure to support the podcast on Patreon. Give us a review on iTunes if you can, because that really helps our standing on there. And just thank you very much. Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great week.